I read this article in the New York Times yesterday.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at me. All the news that's fit to print.
Man.
Well, it was written by like the
democracy dies in the darkness, baby.
It was written by like the girl who covers social media for the New York Times. I can't even believe it's like a New York Times department. So let's not.
I can't.
Let's not get. I mean, I guess so. I guess
Right?
that's the point, right?
It's basically like one of the biggest industries in the world.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's just because we're all fucking assholes and we're all on it. We're like, how could this be important?
Yeah,
But it's quite important.
But I think that the world just has to accept. We see it we see the world struggling with it. Where like, I mean, every fucking video that I make or whatever will be like, nobody cares, and it's like, yes, they do, and it might not be as like cultured or proper or whatever that you're used to. But when you break down all the barriers of like, you don't have to go to school to do this anymore. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to go through a studio. It's all going to come across as sometimes it comes across as like tacky or immature or unprofessional. It's like, that's just fucking, that's what the content is now.
And that's what every new media is.
Right.
Like,
right. Every time
like,
there's
like
a
well,
new.
You're not going to Broadway plays anymore. You're watching.
Right. You're watching
silent
television.
Films, or you're watching films at home now.
You know what's good? Are you watching Mythic Quest this season?
I have not started it yet.
So they do an episode that's like a throwback, like they did in the first season, and it's Longbottom. It's like his come up, and he wants to work at this magazine. He's an intern at a magazine that does like science fiction writing, and he comes in. He's like, I got this idea. We're gonna fucking write video games, and they're like, for their first reaction's like, you want to be on like television? Like you want to be on the screen? Oh, trash. And then he took it a step further, like video games, garbage. But so yeah, every step of the way, it's always been looked down upon by people. And then it's just like, that's what people like. That's what people want to see.
It's also like, if you're thinking about it, like from the New York Times sense, it's also incredibly important because you're now looking at like 4 people who control what everyone thinks about the world.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
when you're controlling what the people like, Zuckerberg's trending topics and Jack's trending topics, and you're like
they are the important people in media now, not fucking newspapers.
And then
all the old
what
school
they're
shit.
pushing is who's getting canceled, and like you have all this fucking stuff that like, yeah, it's probably important to keep tabs on those guys.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And so, but that's what people have a hard time accepting that, and they have a hard time accepting that like the job is a difficult one. What are you laughing at?
Just arguing about why social media is important. I also thinking about it for 20 minutes last night. I laughed at a tweet that said, if you ever reverse the shit, go ahead and put that rainbow flag in your bio, Playboy.
And you laughed your fucking dick off because it was entertaining.
It was really,
that's what the people want.
The New York Times should be covering this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, that's what I mean. People can't imagine that. They're like, why would the New York Times talk about Zach Fox talking about reversing your poop? Well, I don't know. It's because it made a grown baby man over here cackle for 25 minutes straight. He's been laughing for 2 days about reversing your poop.
Just to put the flag in your bio, Playboy. It's like someone said it's microdosing anal. Fucking funny stuff, man.
It's great. I mean, it's quality entertainment, man. But I talked about it on the Kevin Clancy show, and then I got like a couple people here who were saying to me like, "Yo, it's the truth that like the burnout of like there's no hours, there's no like beginning and end, there's no weekend, and there's nobody really to tell you like, there's nobody to say like go on vacation, and especially when if you're really working for yourself, like the more you work, the more you get." The more the more you put in, the more you get out. So it's like I could just be on vacation or chill right now. But if I do another video or make another podcast or do whatever, stream on my Twitch, I could make more money. So I'm just gonna like go. What I think I've learned is like I don't think I realized how much like you probably do need to give your brain a rest, even if you're just doing mindless shit like talking about reversing your poop. like when we're done for the day of podcasting, like it's like. I'm done, man.
Yeah.
And that seems weird because, like, what you can't just like keep talking to your friends, and it's like, no, not really. When you do it in front of a mic, in front of the cameras and shit, you are like, I'm fucking done, man.
There's also an idea to it that, like, it almost becomes a turnoff to be entertaining, like at dinner. I'm like, what, only 4 of you gonna hear this?
Yeah,
I'm gonna fucking
right.
save
I'm
these
not gonna
jokes
waste my fucking jokes on this.
Like, I just shut the fuck up. I'll listen to you guys talk all you want, but I'm saving my good shit for tomorrow.
My material.
Yeah.
Do you ever?
But it is. So I wanted to say real quick when you're talking about like giving your brain a rest. The story I always remember, and it's probably true, like everything I say, is that a guy worked at, I forget he was doing sneaker stuff, and he worked at, and it was like major, I forget if it was a Nike or Adidas or where he was, and then he was like, I just got to give my brain a rest, and like not, he'd made enough money where you can give it a real rest, and not like,
it's definitely a
not go to
luxury
Myrtle Beach for a week.
Yeah.
But it was like he was working on motorcycles, and the tire treads gave him the idea for the Ultra Boost. And then it's like, and he's like, that's the rest my brain needed. That's a very, very privileged, luxurious, as you said, rest.
And it's
like,
also,
I'm going to go start a new blue-collar career and just really do work on the art of motorcycles.
Right, and then come up with this revolutionary. It's also like you maybe could have saw those tires while you were working your 9 to 5 and come up with the same idea anyway, but maybe not.
Yeah,
what it took is that.
And then it's like, I think specifically they applied it to like the Yeezys. Where like they have like almost a tread marks on the side.
Yeah.
Whereas like, and maybe that's the boost he was talking about, not the Ultra Boost, because the Ultra Boost isn't really that tread mark style.
It's more
on the bottom. It is
bubbles, like the little.
Yeah, but on the bottom.
But and in general with sneakers, like Tinker Hatfield, all the Jordans are like mimicked after a car, or like the 13s are made after a cat, and like the I think the 5s are made after an airplane or something like that. So like. But those guys are like artsy, and they probably aren't like grinding their brain out. They're probably like, I feel like when you do take the time, and this is like in our world, but it's probably in anything. If you're digital or an entrepreneur or working on the internet in any way where you can just keep on going, you probably don't realize that your brain is not functioning at top notch.
Yeah.
Like I was comparing it to physical. Like when your body is in bad shape, because it either hurts or you're weak or it doesn't work, and you need to go to the gym to keep up your body, and that also includes you need to have days off where you rest to let your muscles, all that shit, recovery. I don't apply any of that to my brain. I'm just like go.
Yeah,
and when I stop, I'm like, I feel like I gotta go. I gotta if I sleep in, I freak out. If I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm lazy. I feel guilty. I have all sorts of weird shit. Somebody was talking about how we all have imposter syndrome. And I was like, imposter syndrome, or imposter syndrome is basically like, it's the new gaslighting. I hear it a lot in our industry. It's the buzzword of the moment, where it's like you don't think you deserve. We definitely have it. You don't think you deserve like the accolades, the success you've gotten, and like when people, like I say, people want to come see your live show. Why? It's like you don't believe in yourself, and you don't think you deserve to be where you've gotten. I think I have something even beyond imposter syndrome, because if you're admitting you have imposter syndrome, you're kind of admitting that you're a somebody and that you've achieved something.
Yeah,
I mean? I have what's beyond that, where I'm like, I didn't even do anything. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not even an imposter. I'm totally fucking
denial,
depressed. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just a nobody. But yeah, like I don't think I can stop my brain. I know it, but I just don't do it. I don't buy into it. I don't know why. I'm also just clinically depressed. I've finally accepted this, and I know you've always joked like, yeah, we know, but like just the idea. The other day, I had like I was supposed to pick the kids up, but Caitlin was stuck in traffic, so I had this extra like couple hours that I just was like. And I went out and I just like went shopping and picked up some things I needed to pick up and ran some errands that I needed to run and like got some food. And these are just like basic human things that I just like never really do. And I was like, oh, I think this is what you're talking about when it's like you can't get up and just go do basic things. You know what I mean? It was like I have not gone shopping for like stuff. I needed some I needed new shorts. I was like, I'm dying fucking hot. I don't have any shorts. I just couldn't bring myself to buy shorts for like a month. Then I finally did it. Or like going to get things that are around the house that I was like, I needed to buy like this fucking garbage can for my, like dumb things that I was just like,
I've lived in an apartment for going on almost a year now, and I haven't done that.
Don't do any of those things. And I can't tell if that's
I have a room that's just full of trash.
But is that just see? Yeah, so I was going to ask, is that just general laziness or depression? That's probably depression. If you live in filth and squalor in a room with a trash room.
No, I don't live in it. It's just a
room.
Keep
it over there.
Just an extra bedroom. You just fill with garbage.
This is my problem. This is what I can't understand.
Garbage. Not like
stuff.
Not trash.
Like clutter.
Garbage.
Yes.
Absolute garbage. Like if it all got thrown away, magically flew out the window, I wouldn't notice.
I started doing that in my apartment. I started to I'm like, eventually I'm going to want to move. And if I try to pack up all in one shot, I have so much clutter. I won't ever be able to fucking dig my way out. I filled up 7 garbage bags worth of stuff, clothes that I don't wear, like little trinkets and shit that I don't use, all these toys my kids don't use. I looked around my apartment. It looked like it didn't even change. It looked like when you get a big bowl of pasta at an Italian restaurant and you're full, and it looks like it's still full. It's like, did you even eat any? It's like I had like 50 bites. Like my stomach is. That's my apartment, a giant bowl of pasta that I can't even put a fucking dent in. But I can't figure out if I'm just a normal dude who's lazy, or if I'm clinically depressed. Because I think there's a fine line between, it's like, when they're like, do you struggle to sleep at night or whatever? It's like, yeah, but that's also because I'm just like I'm out of shape and I'm like a bag of shit. It's like, do you find it hard to like get up and make dinner for yourself? And it's like, yeah, but I've always just like ordered, I just ordered takeout. Does that mean I'm depressed? I don't know.
I think,
but I'm also starting to see
here,
other signs.
It's like addiction, be it drug addiction or alcoholism. Like, if you're questioning your relationship with it, you have it.
Yeah,
like,
right. If you're at the point where you're thinking about it,
like,
they don't even bother.
Do I drink too much?
Yeah. Yes, that's really the answer. If you have to ask me this question, it's like if you gotta ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
If you gotta ask, you have it.
Yeah.
That's a very good test. But I think the idea of like lazy or depressed is a good one. Like, I think there's a lot of, at least for guys out there.
Well,
like,
I mean, it's obviously a good one. That's because that's why it's been the cure for depression for so long has been, we'll just get up and go do something.
Yeah.
Turn the lights on.
Right.
Yeah, I know. But
right.
I can't.
But I don't want to because I'm depressed. Or maybe
can't.
I'm fucking lazy. But yeah, I mean, people will never understand. People won't really give the sympathy or the respect to. Here's a question. We'll wrap it up on this.
Which is fine.
When do you think it'll happen, though?
Because of everything we just said. I don't think I deserve it anyway.
But when do you think that will change? Because like when you talk about athletes and entertainers, people will always say like, "Oh, I'm not going to cry for them. They're rich," but they don't act like their job is easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like doing a world tour is very difficult, and people acknowledge that. Being a professional athlete, you have to be top notch. People will say, you have millions of dollars, you play a game for a living. I'm not going to, why do you don't have problems, you're not depressed, blah, 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 which is all bullshit anyway. But they won't ever say, like, your job's a joke. They'll be like,
I think people will say, like, when you play a game for a living.
Yeah, they play a game for a living, but it's not like, I think people will say they can do what we do. They don't say that about singing and acting.
Not to the extent that we do, but a shocking number of people do say that about professional athletes.
Well, right. But those people are very stupid.
Yeah.
Excluding the morons. Because it seems like what we do is just like shoot the shit. And to some extent we do. And to some extent it's much more replicable than professional sports and professional entertaining. But it's like, I don't think you could churn out this many fucking podcasts and videos and blogs and streams and all that shit. You know?
I think it's easy to say you could do it, and it's also easy to do it if you could.
That's kind of always my thing. Is like,
if you do it.
You know? Yeah. People. I mean, so many people hate on 1 Minute Man. It's like, then yeah, go ahead. Why doesn't everybody do them? Then? Why doesn't everybody at Barstool have them?
I think a lot of people at Barstool are trying to do them.
And it just doesn't.
There are another one.
That's what I mean. It's like for some reason. But so I wonder if like Dave.
People kept trying to get me to do it. I was like, no, it's the stupidest thing. Why the fuck would Kevin and I do that? That's a dumb.
Yeah. 2 Minute Man. We'll do it together.
No, not like join yours. Like by people, it's one specific person who's a fucking idiot. But you probably know who it is already.
I can guess.
And I was like, no, like you really should think it. I'm like, yeah, it's very successful. Kevin's very good at it.
You could do it though.
No, shut up.
Okay,
move on.
See,
someone admitting they couldn't do it. It's not that fucking hard.
For it. I wonder too, though. Like, I think that honestly, that Dave might be a big change in the movement. Kind of like Dave being probably now worth like $250 million when it's all added up. I don't think people will be like, I think you can fully put to bed like, you blogged, you get paid for that. It's like there's a dude who made $250 million to it, And I wonder if like having at least just one face of it be like, oh yeah, no, this is and like the Paul brothers, like this guy fought Mayweather. There's still a lot of reluctance, but I think people are going to start to come around because of people like that, where it's like, oh we can't, these guys are the new entertainers.
Fuck. You know,
Right.
like, it's gonna happen in our lifetime, but not in our careers.
Right.
We're gonna be
Yes.
like a crippled old
absolutely.
NFL player who they're
1000%.
like, that guy was a legend, and I'm living in a trailer park because I didn't
No
make
doubt.
any real fucking money.
Yes.
I didn't get respect yet.
Yes.
I'm gonna be like Jim Irsay walking up to the blogger conventions.
I played
They're
too.
like-
I did
like,
this too.
That guy was a fucking player. That
Yes.
guy really did it.
Yes. It's so fucking true. We will when they say like Charles Barkley's like entire career earnings is like 1 year of James Harden.
Yeah,
And it's like you were just too early, man. You weren't a part of like the boom. We like we will have created the boom, and we will just die poor and alone. 96% of you motherfuckers watch these videos and aren't subscribed. Shout out to the 4%. You are good people. 4% of people are watching our
That's
clips.
about what I would guess the breakdown of
Good people versus bad
demographics
people?
in the world.
Yeah.
Good people versus bad people. Probably about 96% to 4.
That's
but Be
fair.
a good person.
But it's not even. I'm not even asking you to be a good person. I'm asking you to push a button.
Yeah,
I'm asking you to click a button.
you can be a bad person still, but just click
You
the
could be
button.
a piece of shit. Just click subscribe. 96% of you watch these clips and they're like, oh my God, that was a funny clip from this podcast. I liked it. And I'm just not going to help them out. The people who work to make it, the people who work to produce it, to post it, to upload it, and there's nothing from you. You're a bad person if you don't subscribe.
Be a good one.